We are so excited to be here. Welcome to this session focused on what you need to know about selling hand protection in the utilities industry. Christina and myself are super excited to be here, and we look forward to presenting and look forward to your questions after our about 30 minutes of content that we're going to share with you this morning. Our agenda for today is as follows. We have one quick slide providing some background on who Watson Gloves is. We're going to then provide an overview of the utilities industry with some important safety statistics. And then next, we'll transition into product solutions for the utility sector. And then after that, we're going to give a short piece where we're going to focus on a summary of how to be effective sellers in this space. And then we'll close with some questions. So let's get started. A little bit about who we are. Watson Gloves is an independent, family-owned glove supplier. I like to say fiercely independent. There's so much corporate consolidation in the safety market, as you all know. There's nothing wrong with that, but I do think there is something special about an independent supplier. We have been headquartered in Vancouver, Canada for over 106 years. We've been focused on growing in the US market, though, for about the last 4 years, where we're seeing very, very strong growth. As you all know on this call, there are a lot of glove suppliers in North America. You can go to any show and you can throw a rock in any direction. You're probably going to hit a glove salesperson. So what makes us different? A couple of things. One is we have our own leather glove factory in Vancouver. If you think about it, most glove suppliers rely pretty much solely on factory production from Asia, don't make anything themselves. We've been making gloves for over 100 years. I'll say that again. We've been making gloves for over 100 years. There are not many suppliers who can say that. And over those 100 years, we have developed deep expertise around how to make quality gloves. That even plays out to what we demand from our overseas suppliers, because we know how to make quality gloves. We know what to expect, what to ask for, what to look for from our overseas suppliers as well. The other piece is that we have a very broad portfolio of gloves. We've got over 2,500 SKUs representing over 400 unique glove styles in the portfolio, and we are continually innovating, bringing differentiated products to market. And the last piece is sustainability. As you all know, sustainability is increasing, it's growing, it's really an emerging mega market. And we have today the broadest portfolio of sustainable gloves on the market, with the goal of having every glove we sell have a sustainable value proposition in the next few years. I'm not going to read through this whole chart. You can do that yourselves, and you'll have the charts after we finish the presentation. I just want to say the message here, as you look across this chart, you see some of these names on this chart and logos. The message is that we're dialed into the glove and into the broader PPE sector very, very well. We sit at the table leading the development of new glove standards, and we are helping to elevate the safety equipment industry's focus on sustainability and sustainable PPE. So I've talked about who we are. The goal here was to hopefully give you some confidence that we are qualified to talk about hand protection. So from here, we're going to dig into the utilities industry, starting off with talking about hand injuries. Hand injuries are still a real concern in the utilities industry. They are second only to injuries to the lower back. And there's a real cost associated with these industries. If you look at National Safety Council statistics for days away from work, restricted or transferred, use the acronym DART, it's interesting to note that 21 to 22, which is the latest data that's available, the utilities industry experienced almost 1,400 DART cases from hand injuries, of which over 40% involved days away from work. That represents lost productivity. So this points to the severity of these hand injuries. And as you know, without your hands, it's very difficult to do work. And it's interesting too, this data is supported by a recent survey of more than 1,000 adults focused on workers' top safety concerns. And it found that concern for on-the-job safety is on the rise. 39% of all respondents are more concerned with on-the-job safety than they were the prior year. Specifically in the utilities sector, workers are 54% more likely than those in other industries to worry about getting injured because of their job on a daily basis. The point is that injury rates in the utility sector are high, workers feel it, there's a lot of anxiety about injuries. And so we want to talk about some solutions to that. We talked about the problem, so we're going to transition now to talk about some solutions. All right, so let's dig into the utility construction work. Today, we're going to be focusing on utility construction work, which means work related to the maintenance, construction, expansion, repair, and reconstruction of electrical utility infrastructure. And it's a massive market. There are almost 18,000 utility construction companies represented in that industry, almost 580,000 workers, and overall those companies are generating, and workers are generating $158 billion annually. It is an absolutely massive market, and it's a market with healthy projected annual growth rates. So the whole point of these two charts is the utility sector is a big opportunity for revenue generation. It's also an industry where there are a lot of opportunities to improve worker safety. So I want to talk a little bit about how we're going to kind of segment this market. It's such a massive market. As you can see on this chart, there are three major sectors. There's water and sewer line and structure construction. There's oil and gas pipeline and structure construction. And there's power communication and structure construction. We are going to focus on the last one. That is the power communication and structure construction. That's going to be our focus for this webinar today. So health and safety issues have always been a major concern in the utility construction industry. And the construction activities workers face have them working at height, working in confined spaces, working underground, close proximity to falling materials, handling loads manually, potential hazardous substance exposure, plant equipment, fire exposure, live cables. So there are a lot of different potential hazards that workers can face. So our team, led by Christina, who's going to be talking next, has worked with professionals in the utilities construction market to fill the gaps in assortment, solve problems for workers, and help reduce hand injuries. So with that being said, I'm going to hand the mic over to Christina.
Great. Thanks, Rodney. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So again, today we'll be talking about hand protection for the utilities construction industry, which is work related to the maintenance, construction, expansion, repair, and reconstruction of electrical utility infrastructure. So by listening closely to the voice of the customer, we identified the following hazards to be present during utilities construction. And the first is abrasion and puncture hazards from handling steel, concrete, rebar, and pulling heavy cable and wire. The next is liquids, so from the exposure to the elements, as well as oils that are present on the cables. Next are cut hazards, which are present from sharp and rough surfaces. And then finally, there are impact, pinching, and crushing hazards during the handling of heavy materials. So pictured here are some of the key industrial end users that we partnered with during the development of these gloves. And all of these companies currently have a minimum hand protection safety requirement of ANSI ISCA 105, cut level A4, and puncture 4. And some of the features we wanted to address during development were durability, which means utilizing hard-wearing materials that can last through intense work, liquid resistance, reinforcements in high wear areas. The gloves needed to be comfortable and available in a wide variety of sizes, and then also include an element of reflective for protection in dark or dim conditions. So last year, we launched a collection of gloves to service the men and women who work in the construction's utility industry under the brand Powerline. And we're very excited to walk you through some of the products today. So here are our all-season Powerline styles. And I'll get into the details of each of these gloves in the next slide. But as you can see, our gloves are available in a wide range of sizes from extra small to double extra large, because we know the importance of ensuring that sizes fit workers of all sizes. So let's get into a little bit more detail about each glove. Our Powerline series features full grain water resistant cowhide on the palm and back. We have inset thumbs for maximum dexterity. We have reinforced areas such as the index finger, the fingertips, and the palm, which will help against abrasion and puncture hazards. Each glove has a full sock cut-resistant liner made from a blend of aramide, steel, and polyester fibers. The seams are all Kevlar stitched to provide strength. And as you can see, they feature a reflective strip on the cuff to aid with visibility in dim conditions. The gloves have been tested to meet the following safety ratings. They've achieved an ANSI ISCA 105 abrasion level 5, cut level A6, and a puncture level of 5. And each have also received an EN 407 level 4 rating in the resistance to flammability test, which means that after the exposure to an open flame, the presence of an after flame was less than 2 seconds, and the afterglow time on each glove was less than 5 seconds. We have an option, which is our 3773, which features a 4-inch wide cow grain slip-on style cuff with a slightly slimmer overall fit. And then our other style is our 3774, which features a 3-inch wide cuff with a gore. And this has a wider cuff opening, which is also available in a 6-inch wide height in case you need extra forearm protection. And the wider cuff is also able to fit over work jackets and coveralls. So here is a snapshot of our 3 winter Powerline styles, and they all feature 3M Thinsulate insulation for warmth. The winter Powerline series, as you can see here, also featured the same benefits that we had talked about earlier in the full dry hide cow grain palm and back. They also do feature that same full sock cut resistant inner liner made from aramide, steel, and polyester. All of the seams are Kevlar stitched. As you can see, they also have the reflective strips on the cuff to aid with visibility in dim conditions. And these gloves feature a wing thumb for comfort. They also have a 2-inch wide palm strap for extra reinforcement on the palm against abrasion and puncture hazards. And these gloves have been tested to meet the following safety standards: ANSI ISCA 105 abrasion level 4, cut level A7, and a puncture level of 5. The gloves that with a 5-figure configuration feature a Thinsulate C100 gram insulation for warmth. Unique to the winter styles is an outseam finger construction for comfort. The fingertips are welted with an extra piece of leather for reinforcement, and they do also feature that same 3-inch wide cuff option as well as the taller 6-inch wide cuff option for the extra forearm protection. And rounding out this series is our 1-finger mitt. This mitt, again, features all the same features and benefits, but has a C200 gram insulation on the back of hand for extra warmth, and C100 gram insulation on the palm so you can still maintain that dexterity. The 1-finger design will still enable you to do some basic tasks. And then, of course, it features a 6-inch wide cuff for that extra forearm protection, which can also fit over a winter jacket. So just a quick slide on our dry hide leather. Basically, we apply a water-resistant treatment to the leather during the tanning process, which means that when exposed to wet conditions, the dry hide treatment will prevent water from soaking into the leather for up to 3 hours. During the development, we worked with some key end users in actual utilities construction applications. And here you can see a snapshot of some of the before or some of the after shots. And the key takeaway here from our end users is that our Powerline series was easily lasting 3 times longer compared to the legacy gloves that they were using. And after 5+ shifts of work, our Powerline gloves were still going strong. The workers also thought that our fit was good as it stayed tighter on the hand, which is generally safer in regards to hand protection. Our Powerline series also features some non-cut resistant options, as you can see here, and these are also made with a full grain cowhide with an outseam construction at the fingertips. And they also come in a winter iteration, which is insulated and unlined as well. So what sets Powerline gloves apart and Watson gloves apart? Well, as you can see, they're built to last and they were tested by pros. They're competitively priced. They meet all of the industry safety specifications, and they come in a wide range of sizes to fit all workers. For the impact resistant options, we also have 2 styles that are featured here. Both of our gloves are tested to meet the ANSI ISCA 138 impact standard. The white goatskin style that you see on the left meets ANSI impact level 2. And the 5785, our shock trooper, meets an ANSI ISCA 138 impact level 3.
All right. Christina, thank you so much for that. At this point in the presentation, we're going to transition now to talk about how we generate sales at the end user level. So we'll take off the product hat, we're going to put on the sales hat here. And I'm going to share 4 key steps that we utilize to generate sales at the end user level. So the first of those steps is really about understanding the end user's needs. There really can be a tendency in sales to show up and throw up, going straight to selling your technologies, telling your features and benefits, your company's amazing reputation, etc. It makes sense, right? That's the stuff salespeople are trained the best on. But doing that really can deny you some vital information about what will actually drive this sale, information that's actually going to close the deal. Ultimately, we're providing solutions for end users. We're not just selling them products. That is, if we want to have sustainable business with them. So we always begin with questions. And this is when we think about questions, who are you asking the questions to? This is a conversation that's best had with a safety lead. That's someone with EHS manager, safety lead, site industrial hygienist. Those are the kind of titles to seek out. So here are the questions. First, what types of hand injuries most concern you? What types of hand injuries most concern you? 2, what are the main hazards on your site? So what are the hazards that your employees are facing? These 2 questions go hand in hand, sorry for that, but these questions really highlight where the hazard risk is coming from, and they're going to point you to the right category of hand protection, be it cut, slash, or impact, or heat, or high heat, low temperature, chemical exposures, or whatever it is. These questions can start to help you to hone in on where you need to focus your solutions. The third question is, what are your workers wearing right now? This is a powerful question because it helps confirm input from the first 2 questions, plus it gives you an anchor point for your potential solutions, right? So if you know they're starting at this point, you can build a bridge from that point to your solutions. So those 3, they seem like very simple questions, but they can be very, very powerful. I'll tell you a quick story. This is an example. Recently, we met with an end user who was building. Their job was to build hardened cement structures. Think of cell phone sites or data centers. We walked through these questions and we learned a couple of things. From the first question, we learned one area of concern for them was contact dermatitis, possible light chemical burns. right? That's an area of concern from question 1. What types of injuries most concern you? Contact dermatitis, possible light chemical burns. Second question, right? What are the main hazards on your site? Well, the workers are fully immersing their hands in liquid cement. Okay. Third question, well, what are your workers wearing right now? Well, they're wearing cotton jersey gloves that they throw away after exposure to the cement mixture. Okay, so what do we know? We know cement is highly alkaline, which means that a high pH content, it can reach a pretty high content very quickly after it's been mixed with water. And so because of the high pH content, we know that can lead to skin irritation and possible burns. So we're able to explain this to the customer. We're able to explain that wearing a glove that provides no liquid barrier and has to be replaced once it's saturated is not an ideal solution, because we have gloves that can provide liquid barrier, can prevent liquid exposure, reduce injury risk, can be reused. So the overall usage is going to go down and eventually lower cost. And oh, by the way, distributor margins increased. We're able to collect feedback from the users that keeping wet cement off their hands was also much more comfortable. When you put all these pieces together, you're able to see very clearly, just by asking those questions, that we have a very powerful solution that's bringing a lot of value to the customer, and ultimately we win the business. This, I know, is a very simple example, but I wanted to give you a quick example, a simple example quickly, because it shows just how powerful these questions can be. As I said, simple example, but we have, and what's been on the screen the whole time I've been talking here, is a summary of a formalized on-site assessment process that we have at Watson Gloves that we call SWAT. SWAT stands for Sustainable Watson Assessment Team. It's a free service that we offer, conducted by our team of hand protection specialists, with the goal of reducing hand injuries, reducing consumption, reducing cost, reducing waste. So in addition to the hazard assessment, addressing the safety need and providing safety solutions, we also look for cost savings, we look for SKU consolidation opportunities, and we look for sustainability improvements, because that topic is coming up more and more with end user conversations. The output of this assessment is a very detailed report that includes a summary of potential hazards as well as potential glove solutions. Number two, before I get into number two, getting access to getting a SWAT scheduled, we've made very easy. Our marketing team has a simple form on our website. On the screen here, you'll see an example of that website form, as well as a QR code that you can click on right now that'll take you directly to the SWAT audit form to schedule a SWAT. All right, number two is about glove trials. So in this case, let's say you know the end user glove needs already. You don't necessarily need to go through the SWAT process. You want to go straight to trialing gloves. From this form, you can request samples from us directly. Again, the QR code on the screen can take you directly to this form where you can get gloves from us for trialing. Another alternative that we provide, another online tool, is a crossover form. In this case, you want to get information on a Watson cross for the current gloves that the end user is using today. You're confident that the glove that they're using today has the right features and benefits, the right performance profile to meet the end user's needs. You just want to know what the Watson equivalent is going to be. Here's the form for that. So again, simple, online, easy to use tool for you to be able to get access to information very, very quickly. Step number three. Step number three is all about rollout and compliance. And this is where our marketing competence really shines. Our in-house marketing team can provide custom marketing collateral to support the implementation and rollout. What are we talking about? This is things like, if you want training, education on products or relevant standards, we can provide that. We can generate product guides, or what we might call mini catalogs, specific to your customer. Another one is application glove boards. These are really popular rollout tools. There's an example of one of these right on the screen on the right-hand side. This is essentially a large printed board that will show all the products that are approved for use on a site. And we can make that as detailed as the customer would like it to be. We can provide the relevant standards, focus on product features and benefits, but that's all bespoke custom content that we can provide for end users. Step number 4, and I think this is an important one. This is about follow-up with the end user. And I say it's important because it's a step that's very often missed. After you've assessed the hazard, you identified the glove needs, you sample the gloves, the customer has identified a solution and moved forward with it. Make time to ask for feedback. Ask them, even beyond just the feedback, ask them for a testimonial. These testimonials are really powerful tools because they can generate trust, because it demonstrates that you value your customer's input. And they're powerful too because they can provide input back to the development process. In Christina's presentation, she did share some examples of some feedback that we have obtained from end users. Again, really, really powerful stuff. And we encourage you to be part of that process as sales professionals to collect that end user feedback. All right, so one question that we often get is, where can I find all the different marketing tools that you have to offer? Our marketing team has recently created a distributor hub on our website where all of the relevant marketing tools are housed in one location for easy access. So what are we talking about here? This would be information like getting access to downloading spec sheets, the crossover form, how to contact us, who's on our sales team, a map of where our sales resources are located and their contact information, requesting samples. Another important piece is searching for products. And we provide a variety of different ways for you to be able to easily search through our broad catalog of products. As an example, you can search a variety of different ways, like a glove type. You can search by specific hazards. You can search by application needs. You can search by Watson Gloves sub-brands. So a variety of different ways you can get access to information about the appropriate glove for a given application need. Again, a QR code right on the screen if you want to navigate to this site. All right. So I want to close out with some learnings, and then they'll move into some Q&A. The first important point that we want to reiterate is the U.S. utility construction industry is massive. It's representing almost 18,000 companies, over 500,000 workers with solid growth rates. Hand injuries, though, are still a real concern in this market. And the right solutions can lead to very attractive business opportunities. We at Watson Gloves have the right products. We have the right tools, resources, and expertise to help you grow in this market. Another important piece that I really want to reiterate is we want to work collaboratively with you to win new business. So we're standing by, ready to step in and support, provide you with the information and resources that you need to close business. So with that, it's been a real honor to present to you today. We really appreciate your time.